Becoming a reflective practitioner then is about combining knowledge and theories and practice. And it's easy to think of this in terms of teacher knowledge and teacher inquiry. We know that the process for teachers in terms of becoming reflective practitioners is very much about a thoughtful and reflective process. And the purpose of this is for the reflective practitioner to be active contributors to the community in which they work, the educational community. And what we need to think about is where this all comes together in terms of developing as a professional and developing as a reflective practitioner. And we can look at this in terms of a very simple model for becoming a reflective practitioner based on knowledge development. We, as teachers, are working within a community, and we can think of it as an ecosystem. And from this radiate different approaches that we can use in order to build knowledge and therefore professionalism. For example, we can look at research, and this defines, personal research defines the direction of our professional growth. We can also think of it in terms of training, capacity building, and this is very often the approach which is taken by schools in terms of building professionalism in teachers. We can also look at it in terms of the tools that teachers can use and the infrastructure which schools provide. And this can be things like internet access or libraries where teachers are able to access information. Perhaps a new idea is thinking of the school ecosystem as a place where people, professionals, are working together in order to explore, define and redefine the components of the teaching profession. Or in other words, it's like idea incubation, where ideas are defined and tested and then built on. And of course, within a collaborative environment, we can think of the school ecosystem as a place where knowledge creation and sharing occurs, where colleagues are working together. And of course, there is just more pure forms of knowledge sharing through things like school magazines and presentations and so on. And so within this model, we have to think for ourselves, well, where does reflective practice fit in to this knowledge acquisition process? And again, we can look at another model to define this, where reflective practice has two key components. One component is about inquiry, about investigation, and it's inquiry into professionalism in terms of teaching, and it's inquiry into how an individual is not only participating but contributing to the educational fraternity, to the community as a whole. And the other component of reflective practice from this knowledge point of view is essentially metacognition, or in other words, how we're thinking about the process of professionalization and participation, and the questions that we're asking ourselves and challenging ourselves with in order to move towards that professional identity. And it's these two things which come together within the profession to enhance student learning and promote teacher growth. So we can see that these two come together to what we can call the teacher growth model. And the teacher growth model is therefore multifaceted. It's got many perspectives to it in terms of knowledge creation and knowledge generation through the system, but also in terms of becoming experts in pedagogy and the subject pedagogies, which will move the profession forward in the 21st century. And this teacher growth model that we can now talk about, therefore, is significant for teachers now to engage with, because it's through this process of this multiple mode of learning that the reflective practitioner actually, through research, through capacity building, through knowledge acquisition, becomes a true professional in the 21st century.